continue with my diary video blog for today. Okay, so the thing is like it is very intuitive, but it's come with a fee that if you use the platform, you have to pay for um, publishing your site, which are some sort of thing like so. It is not open source. Okay, so I want to create something which is like open source. It is built using Payload CMS as a backend handler, as well as you know top up with other libraries, other dependency to create an ecosystem of apps or even AI powered applications that facilitate many other jobs, professions. For example, you are in a marketing team and you want to quickly build a landing page, right? Which is you can literally go into GitHub, just run it on your local machine, or loading a page, building a page. Okay, come ready with builder. Okay, so this is like the study I am right here now. Um, there are many being struggles. Okay, okay, so this is like my concepts, my visions, because um, from this to be on top of the payload CMS, meaning you're gonna have to have the builder, which is the page builder, right? So there are variety of names coming up at the time that that are open source. It has to integrate or easily adapted. Many of the concepts of the builder that are open source have to integrate with CMS, so I can manage to make it become an editor of Payload CMS. We came across something like Wrap.js. Okay, but Wrap.js here because is it very I mean it hasn't been updated for more than 1 year, and it is not React 19 uh, compatible. So um, another name, yeah, I have this one on my mind, but then it is not long-term supportive. Right? So my final list is pub editor. Okay, because why pub editor? Okay, this is the open source which is free, but many of the concepts that I think, and through research of course, it can iterate and build upon Palo CMS because of the custom fields, the field transform. Many of its API are React native, and you can literally extend its functionality. Okay, so yeah, that is like how we come from the visions, the concepts, to make it into a builder. There are many obstacles that happened and is happening, but I think I am figuring out a way to how to tackle it more efficiently. Okay, so this project is fully built with AI agent, but unlike the misconception of many people who thinks that you can just throw a lengthy one page plan, or some people think just couple of them, many prompts get thrown in and the AI agent can process it, voila, boom, into an an app. Yeah, it is pretty doable, achievable. If that is just your one-time app, those that are for your personal users, like having your personal pages on the e-commerce website, it is doable. But to create an app that make another child items, or I would say child children apps, uh, an app within an app. Okay, you get my concept, right? Like how to make an app that making pages, making a website. I think it is a limit for one shot AI agent to do it. So which means, but for a complex project, uh, is it is not very doable. I mean, if you take very long time to code everything, it is. But because we have if we have a AI agent, sophistication of AI agent at this stage, plus the framework that you follow strictly. So we have many frameworks like spec driven, text driven, like SpecKit of GitHub, or and so on. Okay, so apply trials and errors. I have concluded. I follow with BMAT V6. So and missing, spec driven and text driven on the way for guardrails for gatekeeping um, purposes. So the master plan. Okay, so for quick about BMAT and why it is, because BMAT come with phases, a very clear and defined phases, and it's you agents and workflow to evaluate and uh, reckon into continued and gatekeeping processes that you can get in control, improve accuracies, protect you from delve too deep into dependency debt, dependency debt, and so on. So, meaning it the take time for planning, for getting everything prepared, but I mean it pays off because with my initial visions, it will lack a lot of things, and many things happen during the way. But I would go try to, yeah. Usually, the first phase is that we come up with a product brief. Okay, so let me see what a product brief. Where is it? Okay, so this is the product brief. It is like, why is it? What opportunities I find from doing this one? What are my users? Okay, because literally you can't just write everything up here, but with BMAT framework, um, it is PMAD, yeah, BMAT framework can help you with back and forth conversation so that you can come up with your essential and filtered selective requirements. Okay, and from the product brief, it coupled with research, of course, because when you build an app, you need to have a lot of things like how the libraries and dependencies work together, in what hierarchy, in which communication protocol of data, API mapping, API contracts, database, all sort of things, would lead to Okay, this is from this one, coupled with research, because we need to validate. Okay, so let me find the research. Okay, so okay, because like the research get, yeah, I have archived it. Okay, because I don't want to have the context to be poisoned. Yeah, but you have to, yeah, come up with a research to see like whether they are compatible, they can work. The hook will get into the system. On services harmonizingly work together, and so on. Okay, so which means like then we have the PRD. Okay, so see how it break down product, um, the product requirement. Okay, uh, very clear, and from this one it come to epic. Epics which mean like um, from the story of the user. Okay, so for example, uh, I I I asked marketing manager, executive, I want to create a landing page. What are the acceptance criteria for this one? Um, prerequisites and technical notes. Okay, so everything is generated iterative, um, one after another, section after section, with evaluation from you, in collaboration with AI. Yeah, and then it comes to the architecture. Okay, so everything's got to get breakdown, very details, very granularly, in controlled, and it get updated with the workflow status and spring status. Okay, here spring status. Yeah, that is phase three architecture, and then from the epics and architecture, and even from user experience specification, it will have to break down into stories. Okay, so this is like the implementation phase. This is what I want to emphasize, and I want to show you the obstacles, my shortcomings, the pitfalls that if you get to watch the video and you know about the framework, and if you are solo developer, you get into obstacles like added. This means something for you to, if you can see yourself in here. Okay, so because I'm not a native speaker, so maybe this is okay, but I just want to have like the video blog of what I did, what I've been doing, and what I expect the results turn out to be. So later when I look back into it, I will say, okay, so this is like what I have been through and what I learned from it, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you can see right here, the very first stories. Okay, so when doing with a workflow, you will have, okay, I work with WindSurf. So you work with workflow. For example, um, the first thing is like to you gotta have two entities here, agent. Okay, for example, the Scrum Master will have you to control the sprint. Okay, which means you gotta have to break down from epic into story. At the time, I know it is gonna be like spring matter to the first step of the workflow for phase 4, which is implement into code, is to create story. Okay, see here. Okay, so if you can see, it's like it will create these things called story. Okay, so from story 1 to story 3, everything go very smooth. Everything went so smoothly. You can see here, okay. But it's not that smooth as you think. Um, and BMAC has me helped me a lot for gatekeeping things and validating work. Okay, so after a story, then the AI agent will iterate on the story by validate it. So it would use some sort of tools like I have my MCB installed. That are you see it's my most used one will be Deep Wiki Contact 7 and lately Serena. Okay, so if I have time or in later videos I will talk more in depth of how I make use of the workflow of BMath framework, agent, and workflows right into the integration with MCP servers and tools, and how they really boost your productivity into not 10x, but I mean 100 times. Right, so um, okay, where am I? So okay, after the race stories, you will have a raw version, but it's not always correct because the requirement because each story would link to the previous one, the context of text specification, what document the agent need to refer to learn about the code patterns, to learn about the architecture. So what should do and what should not, because it is not just front end app. It involves with database schema, logistic, the synchronizations of a schema types and so on. Alright, so it's gonna validate that story again. On at the validated story, it will generate what is called context. Context is like the, the set of instructions that what you should do within the step and the control variables that the AI agent can refer to and validate from it. Okay, so uh, all right. So up to story 3, everything has gone quite smoothly and the page is absolutely friendly until the 4th. Okay, so the trigger is right here. I couldn't remember much, but I will show you the image and why I have archived these stories. Make an architecture decisions, but luckily it worked. Okay, so I will show you the before state. So up to this point, okay, so I will open to the side. Okay, so I just review it in file again. Okay, so right here you can see it looks like I iterated, but these are in no way friendly to user, right? For example, you drag a text here and these UI doesn't mean anything to getting page. Okay, so which means I need to make changes. I decide to archive everything here to redirect the build uh, I will approach the problems in a way that more achievable to AI agents, the AI coder, because the MVP visions mine is having the, I would say, two modes editor. Okay, the novice one, which is like everything is guided. Okay, everything is selectable. Right. Okay, and the broad one. The broad ones with like the inline editors and everything. But then AI agents, even when you break it down, it is trickle into them. Okay, so I decided. Okay, so we just have to do the novice editor first, and the condition is like I will break the story down to more manual control. That means okay. So you can see here. I will make each widget, I would say UI element, into one story instead of having everything jammed into one story. I will break it down. Okay, so you can see it's right here. Okay, so this is right here. Okay, so I will define it more clearly that. Okay, and a content editor, I want a single text component that can behave as either body text or a heading, so that I can manage all text to content from one widget while keeping semantics, layout, and style consistent and easy to control in novice mode. So the problem here is the user story got defined, but it breaks further down into okay, what configurations and what properties of the configuration that I need for one particular novice mode. Okay. Alright, so meaning there's a shortcut here, but in order to copy the UX and UI of one app, or some inspiration from some of your inspirations or inspirational ideas, I have my usually go to method is to use the perplexity assistant. Okay, so I supply for the pro user right here, but it come very handy, and I will show you how to very quickly here. Okay, I have the brief generators one. I browse through some things. Okay, I have some defined commands. Okay, for example, I have specified here. Um, I want the assistant to. Okay, so it's better just quick demonstrations right here. Okay, so if I want to describe the to specify the feature on this page, as you know, with just vision capability of AI agent, it will miss many interactions, many transitions of user experience, right? Like this click, or another, like so, right? But with the assistant here, and with a command, okay, so when I was specify, for example, the something real quick, the button, okay, the button design, for example. Okay, so focusing on button design, and I hit go. Okay, so it will run the browser and it will behave as the end user to actually hit different buttons, the workflow, the pipelines, to simulate how an end user would come to the app and do certain things that result in the interfaces. Okay, so you know what I meant. Okay, so I went through these. Um, voila, you have this as the result. Um, okay, so I apply many tricks here, but this is like an overview of what have been executed recently, obstacles that I faced, pitfalls that I have overcome, etc., and the learned lessons. All right, mm, so I have I use the assistant to to really come to a solution that I need to specify it, which is element, very specifically. Okay, and break it into one story, not jamming many elements into one, but just one story. And so as you can see here, alright, so is it? It should be in something with, yeah, UX design specification, which is element. Okay, so I decide to have the text element, or say text widget, to be handled first. Okay, and I decide to combine text and heading into one element. Okay, so you'll see it's like with the very clear description of what properties I need. For example, like for the text field, I need to have text alignment, and visually it has to be displayed on screen, left, center, right, in check boxes that people can select from, having this tag color, etc. Okay, so I will have to use the assistant AI assistant that I have just demonstrated. Okay, generate with this list, and I will feed this list into the BMAT agent, the screen master, that after the correct cost will have to generate me a a story. Okay, so I have to archive that the previous one. Okay, clean the code base, make it clear and clean architecture to start over. Okay, so to start over, that is 4v2 12 story right here. Okay, so it will get translated into acceptance criteria. um, so you see with just one widget it come with, let's see, 9 acceptance criteria, and under its acceptance criterion we would break it down into many sub criteria. Okay, this is like a list of what you need to reflect on. You, him, in the AI agent need to reflect on after coding. Okay, and from that it will translate into task and subtask, which is here, and the development node, like what document, what artifact, what tools that you need to refer to in order to code, to implement the actual code, um, especially when it comes to ROS dependencies. Okay, if you just create a front end app with React with one main dependency or one framework, that is easy. But when it comes to ROS architecture, the things got to be very detailed and specific. Okay, so you see here what documents govern which. Okay, here you are, and implementation decisions. Okay, so these are noted and taken by AI agents, and I have to go through it, validate it. Okay, run the review on it, have a note on it, very specifically. Okay, okay. So the actual improvement is that now everything get into control very specifically. Okay, from this nightmare. Okay, from this chest nightmare. Okay, nonsensical. Now I think I get the foundation that really work. That I have proven the approach is accurate. It is may not be very polished, but to get this one work as a CMS is a significant, um, you know, milestone to what I have planned. Okay, so this is like the stack element. When I drop into this one, it will have the choices to be text, paragraph, or heading. It is very user friendly. Okay, and you can choose size of it. Okay, so these are about the UIs and styling, which is very achievable. You can have it center. Okay, so everything is very user friendly, and yeah, can have like the heading. You can select the padding. Okay, so which means everything iterated as I expect it is. So just after the implementation, which is fully done by AI, uh, I can then just refine it a bit with UX UIs and then layer it with a next component and so on, and I will have features, interactions more easily. It is called the vertical slice approach, complexity layering technique. But the lesson learned right here is that you should not rush the process. The plan is really important because when things went wrong, you know where to reset, what to archive, what became legacies, how to clean the code base into the condition that it restart, but it doesn't involve the conflict, the legacy context, which may become the poison to AI agents, which is a totally disaster if you ask me. Okay, so I mean, today's like the wrap up for my previous um, 3 days not updating, 3 or 4 days not updating. But yeah, this is like another happy moment that I can build from this moment on, just to top more features on a foundational strong architecture. Okay, so which means I have proven that okay, Puck editor can work in replacement with default editors of payload CMS using Postgres database and Next.js framework. Okay, so that's it for today video blog of mine. All right.